Nightly news for this.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 6.
Been fighting these companies.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 6.
And we begin with breaking news here. Air Comfort Solutions Chopper 4. First on the scene of this breaking news, a car stolen from Southwest 15th and Agnew.
A mother is desperate right now because her two very young children are inside that car. Mason Dunn is up in the air in Air Comfort Solutions Chopper 4. Mason, what update do you have for us at this hour?
Well, the car was taken from Southwest 16th and Agnew at a business. Now you can see police are on the scene. They have the area roped off. Now the mother is still here. They're pulling out all the stops. She left her phone in the car. There's a 9-month-old and a 4-year-old in the car. It's a light gray Nissan Armada with dark tinted windows. That's all we got to go on. The last 3 numbers of the license plate are 923. So if you happen to see that car, you need to call police. But police are on the scene. They're going to the dealership where she bought the car. They're trying to ping the phone. They're actually going to the businesses here and pulling up all the video that they can get at the moment. Now this has been going on for about 30 minutes and it's hot today. So I just hope that this person didn't ditch this car with the kids in it, with it being, upwards of 90 degrees and the kids are still in the car. So police are working frantically. Oklahoma Highway Patrol, Air 1 is out here. We were the first on the scene, but the car was gone by the time we got here. So that's about all we know right now. We're working on other details. I'm sure we have somebody coming on the ground, but we're just waiting on police to hopefully ping this phone and get a location on the car right now. Guys, back to you.
All right, and we do know that it is an 8-month-old and a 4-year-old who are inside of that car, that SUV, we should say, a Nissan Armada. We want to go live now to Oklahoma News 4's Jacqueline Chappell, who is on the scene right now. Jacqueline, give us an update.
Eli, we are here near Southwest 15th and Agnew. This is going to be the location where that car was taken from. I'm going to step out of the shot to give you guys a better look. As you were saying earlier, this was a 4-year-old and an 8-month-old that were inside that vehicle. It was a dark gray Armada with dark tinted windows. It was taken here from the 1500 block of South Agnew, sitting right here in front of the Corn Clinic Family Practice. As Mason Dunn mentioned earlier, there are police here on scene that are asking all these businesses if they have any type of surveillance video or anything that they can go off to know exactly what they're looking for here. Now we do have a description of the suspect. The suspect is a Hispanic male that's about 5'7", 170 to 180 pounds with short curly hair. Now we know this happened shortly after 5 o'clock. The mother is the person that was driving the vehicle and then wasn't in the vehicle, obviously, when that car was stolen. So obviously she is frantic. Her and her family are frantic to find those children. But that's where we're at right now. We'll keep you guys updated as we learn more. For now, we're live on the southwest side. Jacqueline Chappell, Oklahoma's News 4.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Also, you heard Mason mention that it is really hot, and he hopes that, whoever is in this vehicle doesn't just ditch it and the kids are inside.
It's a very dangerous situation when temperatures are this
Yes.
high and you have kids in a car. Let's go straight to Mike for more on the weather situation we're all facing today.
Well, we're looking at a cool down maybe tonight, right?
Just a bit of a cool down, yes. It's trying to take effect right now, but yes, you're absolutely right. 96, our daytime high temperature, hottest day of the summer so far. Let's take a look. Our storm trackers have been out. We've got some building cumulus clouds here in Oklahoma City and a whole lot of heat and humidity out there. Let's go ahead and show you what's going on right now, what you can expect deeper into your evening hours. Little wind shift line coming in. This is the beginning of a slight cool off, but until 8 o'clock, the heat warning continues. 10 heat-related calls from IMSA today. Half of those, 5, had to go directly to the ER for heat stroke symptoms. Okay, so closer to 90 on the eastern sides of town. It's not a huge cool off, but about 5 to 8 degrees. 97 in Okarche and Kingfisher. Skies are partly cloudy. The heat index still running near and over 100 in most of the metro, but dropping just below 100 on the eastern side of town. Compliments of a big area of storms over in eastern Oklahoma. That outflow boundary now pushing into Oklahoma City with that slightly less hot air. This will be building in throughout the evening hours. It's in the 70s over in eastern Oklahoma. Had some severe weather earlier down by Ardmore. That's now moving into Dallas with damaging winds and large hail there. And a couple isolated storms going up in western Oklahoma in Ellis County near Arnett. But guys, this evening it looks like only a very, very low storm chance as this outflow boundary pushes in. But what it brings in our forecast, you'll like that coming up.
Thank you, Mike. A son facing murder charges right now.
Pauletta Pittman and her husband Mark were both found dead inside their home yesterday morning. Tonight, their son Sean is in jail, all without bond. He's accused of killing them. News 4's Lily Zhang has the update.
Sean Pittman remains here at the Lincoln County Jail without bond. Tonight, his mother's co-workers are coping with a new reality.
We love Pauletta and we'll always remember her, and she was a great woman.
Co-workers in grief after authorities say this woman, Pauletta Pittman, and her husband were killed by their son, pictured here, 39-year-old Sean Pittman.
Now I pray every morning for my work family. You know, you have your church family, your work family, your family, and you just never expect that should have been included in your prayers for protection over something like that.
Pauletta Pittman worked at Miller Truck Lines for 13 years. It was here Tuesday when they called 911 after Pauletta didn't show up for work. Police would later find her body and her husband Mark's inside their home in Stroud, less than a mile away.
Oh, that is so bad, so bad. I can't figure out why it even happened.
Authorities confirmed Wednesday Sean Pittman faces 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection. Police tell us they have responded to disturbance calls involving Pittman in the past, some related to alcohol. Meanwhile, those close to his parents are reflecting on happier memories.
We've cried together and we've laughed together about stories about Pauletta. We have supported each other by being together, I think.
In Lincoln County, Lily Zhang, Oklahoma's News 4.
No information has been released yet on the cause of death.
And updating breaking news, a driver shot and killed after a thief demands money. Tonight, Kimberly Milligan's former roommate says police showed up at his house early this morning with their guns drawn. Police are not saying she is a suspect, but will confirm the driver of this car was shot 3 times near Northwest 48th and Blackwelder and died a short time later. That roommate we talked to says Milligan matches the description of the person police are looking for.
She was a little crazy. She had people robbed in her apartment.
Police say the suspect is described as a white woman with a short buzz cut.
Stillwater police say it is the biggest drug bust they have ever seen. Last week, officers followed a driver they say is a known drug offender leaving a house on West Street. And after stopping the driver and searching the car, they found 2,000 hits of LSD back at Jacob Stace's home. They also found more acid along with ecstasy, Xanax, shrooms, and $26,000 in cash. Neighbors say they knew something was up.
There's some people who they pretty much park anywhere they want in the yard, and then there's up and down the street, and there's people gathered.
Police do not anticipate any more arrests in this case. Stace faces 5 felony drug-related charges.
And time to renegotiate? Well, the governor wants to renegotiate how much tribes pay in gambling fees. As News 4's Brent Skarkey tells us, it's a request that's being met with some opposition, though.
Governor Stitt says it's time to do what's best for all 4 million Oklahomans. He sent a letter to tribal officials saying it's time to renegotiate gaming contracts.
Oklahoma tribes pull in $4.5 billion annually thanks to casino-style gaming. Of that, 4 to 6% goes back to the state as an exclusivity fee. According to the governor in a recent Tulsa World op-ed piece, that's well below the national average of 20 to 25%. So Stitt has issued this letter to 35 tribal leaders saying in part, I believe it's necessary, prudent, and in the best interests of the state of Oklahoma and the tribe to begin negotiating terms of a new gaming compact as soon as reasonably practicable.
I think I've contributed greatly to the state, much more than perhaps he's aware.
Kurt Kickingbird is a tribal law expert that helped negotiate the original agreement in 2005.
They're having trouble managing money, and they want to find other sources.
Stitt says the 4 to 6% fee was meant for the first 15 years, so tribes would have extra funds to invest in gaming infrastructure. Kickingbird says the current fee would be plenty if the state would move games closer to Vegas-style gambling, which would bring in more dollars.
It means the tribe would get their percentage, and the state would get their percentage as well.
Tribal leaders reacting to the governor's letter. In a statement, Bill Anatubby of the Chickasaw Nation saying in part, the governor's position came as a surprise to us. Reggie Wasana of the Cheyenne Arapaho tribe saying in a statement they have paid $50 million in exclusivity fees and, quote, any negotiations that involve raising fees would be detrimental to the tribes. Tribal attorneys say if a new pact is not agreed upon before 2020, the old one will stay in place for another 15 years. From the Capitol, Brent Skarkey, Oklahoma's News 4.
And you can read the governor's letter and the statements from the tribes on KFOR.com.
It was a tough one out there today. Heat index in the metro peaked a short while ago, just shy of 110. We have an outflow boundary, folks, or a mini cold front pushing in right now. Will that trigger storms, and what will it do to this heat wave? Your forecast straight ahead.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 6 with Jolene Cheney, Kevin Ogle, Mike Morgan, and Brian Brinkley. Oklahoma's News 4, looking out for you.
And following breaking news, our chopper above that Nissan Armada police are looking for with 2 children inside.
Yeah, and police have reportedly pinged the phone that was inside that car. There we go. That is the shot that we have right now from Air Comfort Solutions Chopper 4.
There's the children,
Mason
the 8-month-old.
There they are. Mason.
Yeah, guys, they were able to ping the phone on this car and found the location. They did light the car up. The guy did stop. They did say that if the guy was going to elude the police, that they were not going to chase him. So you can see the suspect is in custody. They pulled the 2 kids out of the car. So right now, a happy ending here. I was worried that this person may ditch this car and leave the kids inside. So happy ending here. Now this ended about on Young's and 25th and Young's, somewhere in that area right now, guys.
And Mason, the vehicle was stolen from Southwest 15th and Agnew, is that right?
Yes, it was stolen from Southwest 15th and Agnew. They were able to ping the phone. When they first pinged it, it was around Capitol Hill High School, which is at 36th and 36th and Walker, and the car slowly made its way to the west, right to us. So Air 1 was able to pick it up. We were able to follow Air 1 over here and see the car. They surrounded the car. As you can see, the 2 kids are safe, and this I can't tell you how happy I am that this ended. This is a happy ending here.
Absolutely. And if you're just joining us, this is a vehicle that was stolen near Southwest 31st and Meridian. A mother and her 2 children inside that Nissan Armada. The mother got out of the vehicle. Someone jumped in, took off in the car. They were able to ping the mother's cell phone, which was left inside the car, and police have tracked it down to this location here. A 4-year-old and 8-month-old child you can see now in the arms of police officers.
And of course, this could have ended in a much worse way with the hot weather that we have today. And presumably anyone who steals a car probably doesn't care that much about kids, for example, being trapped inside the car in the heat. So we are glad to see that things did at least work out in this situation today. And because of that hot weather, we are all concerned, not just because of this situation, but because of the heat conditions we could be facing all throughout our area. So let's go straight to Mike with a look at what the forecast holds.
You know, that's so true, Eli. Even just normal conditions, there are 10 folks that had heat strokes today and heat fatigue. 5 of those wound up in the ER. So that was extra problematic with our weather we had out there today. An outflow boundary is now pushing through. It's good news, folks, as it is the beginning of the end of this really hot stretch of weather we've had here lately. It's not going to be a giant cold front, but hey, in July to get any kind of cold front is a pretty big deal. And it's coming through right now in Oklahoma City. You can see our time lapse, a few towering cumulus clouds along that outflow boundary or mini cold front now starting to push in. Not a huge change, but at least a small change. 93 degrees right now. The winds are southeasterly and the heat index is still 104 degrees. You know what the interior of a car would do over just a matter of minutes, right, with this kind of heat and humidity. 75 our low, 96 our daytime high, the hottest day of the summer so far in Oklahoma City. The record high back in 2011 at 105. The heat warning continues through 8 p.m. central and southern Oklahoma, but is being dropped in other parts of our state thanks to the cooling wind, rain-cooled air of an outflow boundary now pushing through Oklahoma City. So we're dropping to 90 in Hara, Choctaw, over through parts of Midwest City, Shawnee and Chandler, and we're still in the mid-90s on the western side of town, so it's about a 5-degree temperature drop. It's a small step in the right direction. It's in the middle 70s to middle 80s in eastern Oklahoma thanks to widespread showers and thunderstorms there today, and the heat index running from 100 to 108, so it's going to be plenty tough here for the next several hours before this cool front finally starts to take the edge off these high temperatures and really thick humidity deeper into the overnight hours tonight and for tomorrow. A nice forecast here going forward for this time of year, at least a small break from the heat. Heat index values, notice eastern Oklahoma, not a problem at all. It sure has been wet over in the eastern parts of our state. A big complex of storms has been moving through. Here's that outflow boundary, the cooling winds from that thunderstorm complex now pushing through central Oklahoma. So slightly less hot air now pushing in from the east. A cap or a lid is keeping any storms from forming right now in central Oklahoma. But eastern Oklahoma has been a much different story with widespread showers and thunderstorms, some areas of heavy rainfall, some damaging winds, and a lot of lightning. Those storms now down in McCurtain County in far southeastern Oklahoma, and currently severe weather rolling quickly through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex with continuous lightning, damaging winds here, and heavy rain right through Dallas and Fort Worth right now. Those developed near Ardmore a couple hours ago. Now they're in northern Texas, and a few storms trying to go up in some pretty high heat in Ellis County out by Arnett. Those aren't doing too much right now. So this evening, it's only a very low storm chance. I think it's 20% or less. 20% or less for Oklahoma City this evening as that outflow boundary comes on through. Hey, here's likely Barry developing, tropical depression number 2 forming to the southeast of New Orleans. A lot of onshore wind and high waves and surf coming into Louisiana right now. Projected to develop into a Category 1 hurricane likely by Friday, and then coming on shore in Louisiana, lifting due northward from there, going back to a tropical depression over the weekend, likely putting some moisture into eastern Oklahoma, but only a low 20% chance of any of that rain making central Oklahoma. If it did, it would be Sunday night, Monday, and Monday night of late in the weekend, especially early next week. It'll likely track just to the east of Oklahoma City. But if you have plans into Arkansas as early as Sunday, you need to stay tuned to the local forecast over there. Flooding rainfall could be possible. Low to mid 70s tonight and upper 80s for daytime highs tomorrow with a north wind and partly cloudy skies, so a little bit less hot. This evening, a 20% chance or less of evening storms. Temperature low 80s by 10 o'clock. A little better chance of a couple of storms in western Oklahoma tonight and later this evening. And 73 for our metro low tonight. And lows in the metro will be in the lower to mid 70s. Still pretty warm in the morning. Any overnight storm chances will be low to moderate in western Oklahoma only tonight. 89 for tomorrow. A slight morning shower chance in Oklahoma City. Otherwise, partly cloudy. So noticeably less hot and also noticeably less muggy and humid. So tomorrow, a better day. Upper 80s to near 90 for daytime highs and upper 80s to low 90s across our state. Any morning shower chances will dry up tomorrow morning in western Oklahoma. The rest of the day, it will be dry. So a small break here from the extremely high humidity and heat as lows at night drop into the mid to upper 60s Friday and Saturday morning. Highs near 89 the next 2 days. Low 90s over the weekend. 20% storm chance with Barry on Monday. We'll watch that carefully, and then the heat wave should build. Upper 90s to near 100 next week, and we'll be right back.
Also following that breaking news, Mason Dunn, Air Comfort Solutions Chopper 4 over the scene. Looks like mother has been reunited with those 2 children there.
Yeah, in an absolutely dicey situation. Those kids were in the back of a stolen SUV. And it's a very hot day, as we just heard from Mike, so their lives were definitely at risk. Let's go straight to Mason Dunn, who is up in the air. Mason.
Yeah, guys, we believe the mom has been here. So you can see her in a police car. She is holding the 4-year-old, and then they have the 9-month-old that the lady in the yellow is holding there. So this ended at South 19th and Youngs. Now, this car was taken from South 16th and Agnew. It took police a while to be able to ping the phone. The mother left the phone in the car, so they were able to ping the phone. They were given updates, but we were kind of behind about a minute. So everywhere we would go, the car was gone. Mark Dillard, my cameraman, was able to spot the car. We kind of looked ahead where the car was heading, and we were able to spot the car. Air One followed suit over here. Police surrounded it. They pulled it over, as you saw live here, that they arrested the person that took the car with the 4-year-old and the 9-month-old in there. Happy ending here. I was afraid that he might ditch the car somewhere, as hot as it is, and leave the kids somewhere. Hopefully, they could have pinged the phone still and got to them, but that's just not something you want to put your kids through. So a happy ending here, South 19th and Youngs. This stolen car has come to an end here. The person was arrested, the kids were saved, and Mason Dunn reporting from Air Comfort Solutions, Chopper 4, back to you.
Boy, what a reunion and a good outcome. The best outcome we could have in this situation.
And that guy is going straight to jail.
Back with more after this.